there, and welcome to this walkthrough of the monthly content planner kit. My name is Vanessa Lockshin, and I'm the president of the Storytelling Nonprofit. I am super excited to help you figure out how to use this planner kit and get the most from it for your nonprofit's communications. I know from my experience in planning communications and working with nonprofits on their communications that one of the biggest challenges we often face is getting off of what I call the content creation hamster wheel and really intentionally creating content that aligns with our biggest communications goals, helps us amplify our messages, and ultimately raise the awareness that we want to raise. My goal for you at the end of using this content planner kit is to help you create just that kind of plan on a monthly basis for your organization. I hope this content planner kit is one that you use each and every month and get a lot of value from. Let's dive into it so I can give you a quick overview of how to use this and how to get the most from the kit. So here on the second page, you'll find just a quick overview of what's included in the monthly content planner kit, as well as just a couple of notes on how to use it, although I'll go more into depth here on this tutorial. So the first big piece in the content planner kit on page 3 is the monthly content checklist. And this is sort of just a big overview of what you can expect to work on each month to build out your content plan. So if you're using this on your desktop rather than printing it out, all of these fields are ones you can type in. So we'll just type in a month here. And you can even check these off as you go. Although they seem to be checked right now, that's okay. So you can go through here and use this as kind of a to-do list where you go through this process each month. I've also included a few spaces for you to write in your own to-dos if you have other things specific to your process and how you do your communications and content planning. Feel free to add those in here in the bottom spaces. So the first piece in planning your content is to kind of do what I call a nonprofit activity forecast. And this is really about understanding the bigger picture of what's happening at your organization. To me, this is the bird's eye view of what's going on and how we can strategically connect our content to our goals and focus and other things that are happening at our organization. So there's 3 pieces here, although 2 that are really essential to fill out. So the first asks you if you have a theme or focus for this month that you want to align some or all of your content with. And I'll give you a good example of this. If you are working on this during the month of December, aligning your content with your year-end fundraising campaign may be something that's a big focus for you. But maybe there's other seasonal things or other times of the year where there's something that feels particularly pertinent, a new program or service launching, enrollment for a new program or service, whatever that might be. This is just to kind of bring awareness to that and have that be at the forefront of your planning process. Now, the second piece in this middle column here is to go through and just list any activities, projects, events, initiatives, campaigns, etc. coming up in the coming month. And this is to just make sure they're on your radar in case you need to create specific communications around them, or just want to more relevantly tie in things into your communications work. So take that opportunity to kind of look at your calendar, talk to colleagues, and make sure you have those things kind of in the mix and do some brainstorming. I've also given you a third column here for any additional notes about this month, so you can use that as you will if there's anything else that feels important for you to note. Now here on page 5, I've given you a calendar overview. So if you want to take the information that you brainstormed on the last page and then be able to take that here on this page and start typing in the dates. So I've left this blank so that you can customize it for each month. So let's just say the first is a Monday. You can type in the dates and then type in the activities that might be relevant for that month as well. All right, so we get into the next piece here, which is the monthly content plan. So this is about really thinking about what thematically is happening week to week in all of your communications channels. So I've given you 2 pages to plan for this. You can copy over any information about your monthly theme up here in this top box. And I just started by including 2 channels, and I know you probably have more, so you can type those in here. Let's say you're using Twitter. And maybe you're also doing something like YouTube and doing video content. So you can type those in and you'll see on the next page, there's more blank spaces for you to add in more channel information. So what I like to encourage my clients to think about is really aligning their content across channels to make sure that their message is cohesive and that they're really aligning their messages strategically and also taking the opportunity to repurpose content when they can. which, as you probably know, will lessen your workload, hopefully, at least a little bit. So this is an opportunity for you to just kind of sketch out at a high level what you think is going to happen week to week over the course of the month in these various channels. And again, this is about just getting the bird's eye view and starting to think about, okay, what kinds of content are we planning on sharing each week? You know, how does that correspond with other channels and other things that we might be doing in our organization? All right, so we get into the page 9 here, which also gets into the start of the actual editorial calendars. So this is where you can get a little bit more granular, and if you had extra channels that you wanted to use, you can type those in up here. So we'll just add those in. And then what you can do is actually use these spaces across to write out your kinds of posts or content that might be going in each of those days of the week. I know you may not have every 7 posts on your blog each day of the week, which is totally fine. So feel free to leave some of those blank if that feels relevant to you. But again, this can be really helpful, especially if you're working with a team or you just need a central place to kind of create an editorial calendar for you, your volunteers, other people you might be coordinating with. And then you can hopefully use this on an internal server to get everyone on the same page. So you'll find those editorial calendars here on the next 4 pages. There's one calendar for each week, so you can use all of those for your organization. Next, we get into our monthly goals and results. This is personally one of my favorite parts of the content planner kit because this is where we get to really reflect and I think be a little bit more intentional and strategic with how we're approaching our organization's content. So this is a great exercise to do. I like to do it usually on the last day of the month or within the first couple of days of the next month. And I always start with first, what were my content goals for the last month? So what was I hoping to achieve with the content that we created, and really taking some time to reflect on that. Secondly, what progress did we make towards the goals for that month? And so being able to look at our metrics, there's some more information on that in the next page I'll go over. But I think 2 of the biggest and most important questions for me in this exercise is what worked this month and what did not work this month. So those 2 right there. These 2 questions to me are about harvesting insight and being able to work smarter, not harder, and being able to really leverage the work that we're doing and learn from what we're doing rather than just kind of going through the motions every month of doing the same thing. I think that these 2 questions can be so valuable for communications programs, and I want to encourage you to just think about them as really valuable opportunities to reflect on your work and to really get more strategic in how you approach your communications planning. So the next couple of pages are more about your monthly goals and results. So I've created a little chart here for you for different communications channels. So you can track things like for your website, your total visitors, unique visitors, bounce rates, or any other metrics that might be interesting to you. You can type those in here. And I've given you columns for both the previous month, the current month, and also to make notes about the growth on those things. I also included one for email, and then if there's another thing that you're measuring, you can always add that in here and add in the relevant metric points as well. So the last couple of pages here that you'll find in the content planning kit is the content project planner. And so this is really about being able to plan out any significant content projects that you might be working on. So let's say you're working on a blog post series for your organization this month. You might need to do things like brainstorm topics. You might need to source some quotes for your articles. You might actually need to write the 3 blog posts. So you can really get into the step-by-step process of what needs to happen for some of your bigger pieces, and you can write in the dates by which you want to accomplish some of these milestones. And then over here in this last column, you can check off those activities as you go. So that's a quick overview of what to expect in the monthly content planner kit. I hope this has been helpful for you as you dive into this. And as always, if you have any questions or if there's anything I can do to help you in your content planning work, feel free to send me an email. My email address is here just on the second page of the content planner kit, info@thestorytellingnonprofit.com. I'd love to hear from you. All my very best for your content planning work.